Hello and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars review. Today we're taking a look at the Desert Skiff and Sarlacc Pit set number 75396. Quick look at this box here. Now this is the most expensive Sarlacc Pit and Desert Skiff set that there is, because there are the most pieces in here and there are the most minifigures in this set. The Sarlacc Pit itself is also actually substantially built, as you can see the picture there. And supposedly there is going to be a new Jabba's sail barge set coming out this year in 2024, at least from the leaks and rumors. So this set is downloadable content. It's like an extra bit to add on, but they're selling you the cheap one first, so you'll go grab it. And I say cheap, this was not cheap. This was 500 Hong Kong, so like £50 or about 55 or 60 bucks. So it's not cheap for what it is, but you do get a lot of minifigures here, and the build technically is big. It is a more adult orientated build because of how the thing is designed. You can see the sort of, you use a lot of smaller pieces to get the detail there, but when it comes down to it, the actual Sarlacc mouth is still small like the old ones. So in terms of the Desert Skiff, this is actually the fourth version, and the Sarlacc Pit is the third version. The first version of the Sarlacc Pit, I'm going to put in like a table here in the pictures now in the editing. The first version was back in the year 2000, and all the Lego was still yellow skin, and it's a tiny built thing, and it only comes with Luke and Han Solo. Now I do have the original Jabba's palace with the yellow skins, but I never got anything else to go with it, so I'm missing out a lot. So, but yeah, very simple build, very simple figures. The second one, Jabba's sail barge, was released in 2006, and that's when the figures start getting flesh-colored skin tones, but the designs are still very simple. There is a Sarlacc Pit in this that's very basically built. The Desert Skiff is slightly altered, slightly bigger, I would say, than the original version, but still everything is super duper simple. Next one is in 2012. Now this Desert Skiff is a bit bigger. It is a standalone set with a Sarlacc Pit. The Sarlacc Pit is still mostly brick based, so there's no unique parts for it yet. And the Desert Skiff is starting to look a bit more detailed, but the colors are still very dark, just like the first two sets. And we are getting some new minifigures in there, such as the Skiff Guard, for example. And in this set, we still have Luke. After that, we got another one in 2017. Now, I do have this set, and I will be comparing it with the new one here. Yeah, this is also finally has a special piece for the Sarlacc, and we'll take a closer look at that later. And we also still have a lot of minifigures with that. We still have Desert Guard, but this is the first time we are missing out on Luke on one of these sets. And we also don't have Lando, and as Lando has appeared in the previous sets. Alright, which finally brings us back to this set. So I actually think this box is very nicely done. The details there is very great. We have this one extra 25th anniversary figure here, and because I don't have any Millennium Falcon sets, I'm really glad to get him here, otherwise I will never get him. Just so far, I feel like all the Falcon sets, just in terms of the minifigure ones, not the Ultimate one. Even the Ultimate one I don't think is that good. It's so big, and yet they didn't put any rooms in there. The play features are very bad, and the smaller Falcons, they haven't managed to make it look sealed. I think they still have some issues with the roof and stuff. So I do hope that they release a new Falcon, since they've made the Ultimate one. And usually when LEGO makes an Ultimate Collector's Edition, the fighter that comes after that in the minifigure scale takes some of the new techniques from the Ultimate stuff and then put it in the regular minifigure release, and I'll be really happy there. Instruction manuals has been split into two, so one is for building the Desert Skiff and one for building the Sarlacc Pit, which is decent for people going to split the sets, although I'm not sure why would you split this. I mean, like, are there some people who only want the Skiff but don't want the Sarlacc Pit, or vice versa? That's weird. First comparison is Sarlacc Pit, and I mean look at, the size is, I mean, for the price back then, this was okay. And the play feature is you hold this one and you can wiggle the mouth out if you open it. See, you pull it up, it opens. It's like a musical instrument. I must stop that now. But otherwise, it's very simple. It's very exposed. It's very naked because there's nothing going around it. There's not much teeth going on. So for the price back then, it was okay. But there's no comparison. This is a much nicer display piece, although it is still weird that they still use a very small mouthpiece. I am not happy with how small this mouthpiece is. It looks a bit silly. I guess I'll just keep it in open. I don't know, maybe I'd have it in semi-open mode, but the other pieces here, you have some little moving bits, so you can move these around. So I guess that's a play feature, but I mean, realistically, you're just going to leave it like that. You're not going to move it. It's just going to be like that. It'd be like, I'm trying to grab someone who falls in, bleh. And that's it. So yes, very substantial build. It is a nice build, very good for a display piece, and it does hide the actual mouth hole a bit. Yeah, they built some sand over it, and so if you put this on a display, it will look very, very nice. So yeah, of course the new one is going to win. Okay, over to the Desert Skiff itself. The old one has a pull-out feature here, and the wings move a bit, and that's it. The coloring on both of these are very similar. There's way more walking space. I mean, the old one is actually slightly bigger. So way more studs for characters to stand on, which I prefer. I prefer being able to pose and walk the characters around it. Control panel is just one of the regular printed pieces, whereas this one is actually built, which is kind of nice. Just thinking back into the movie, I mean, I guess that's better. So a lot of it is similar. They've just advanced it a bit more. Now, this back plate panel there is much better hidden and smaller on the new one. You got some different exhaust points there. In terms of this walk feature, so you have an extra stud there, which is hidden with this color, and so you can easily push it out, even though there's no problem for you just tilt the ship and it'll fall out anyway. However, the old one actually has some studs on it, whereas this one's just a flat piece. So if you want to do that scene where Luke is just standing on the edge, you gotta either blue tack it or keep your fingers crossed that no wind touches it. Otherwise, Luke would just fall off, which is not canon. The second play feature, I guess, would be an extra door that you can just open. Not sure why. I don't remember that in the film, like a door opens. I mean, maybe. And I guess technically these are also moving bits, just like the old one. So the new one is, I guess technically it's more detailed and looks a bit better, but I really hate that there's so many flat pieces here with no studs. Like this entire flat piece here, it should have just been this piece. This should have just, yeah, it's Lego, so I can go out and get another plate for this, but why do I need to do that? Why? I know this is more adult orientated build for display more than play, but still, like, can I, have more display options? And at the bottom there, they've managed to consolidate a lot of the transparent bits, so you build less to stand it. So this one stands a bit higher. I guess the idea is actually, if you have the old set and the new set, you move away the old Sarlacc, these can still go together, and you get the job as sail barge. You could, have the old set with it, and it just looked like it's a slightly different model of the Desert Skiff that's flying along with the sail barge, and I think that kind of works. Now I kind of want to keep this, but let's see. Okay, over to the minifigures now. The first figure I'm going to compare is Chewbacca, because they're essentially the same figure. Nothing's changed here. I mean, the only difference is what print quality you might find that's slightly different. And I am not a fan of this huge tan paint that they splat all over his face. Like, when has Chewbacca ever looked that light colored? I think his mouth is also printed slightly, his face print is also printed slightly high. So this is a bad print tree. So my old one's better. But I don't like this hair. I feel like if I put a black wash or brown wash, it will help the colors a little bit. Might have to do that. But essentially you're getting the same Chewbacca figure from both sets. Next up we have Han Solo. The legs are the same and the hair is the same, but you see the face and body print is different. There's more fold lines. It's more scuffed on the old one. They flipped his shirt, depending which way it's folding. That's odd. So technically the old one's more detailed, where they simplified the new one. In terms of the face, I guess the new one's better, just because I have a bit of a white paint there on the mouth. If I take the hair pieces off and turn them around, the new one has more details on the back, and smug face, which I'm actually not a fan of. I think the old head for this is better, because you can use the old head's like confused expression to be like, Boba Fett where? Whereas the new one is just like, hey, generic Han Solo smug face, which does not match the scene. So I'm not happy with that. So yeah, new one has back print and the front face is better, but I think overall the old figure is also better. Ooh, new one's, it's not good for the new one. Okay, the next common figure we have is Boba Fett. This is no competition. The new one is just printed so much more nice. The colors are better, because you look at the old one, his the yellow coloring just looks very bootleggy. It's way too lime in color. And yeah, I mean, the new one's just got the arm prints. And the helmet, the scratch print is also a bit better. And the coloring is just nicer. So I'm just going to take everything off. The only upside that the old one has is it has this bit of fabric, which I might steal and give it to the new figure. So one of the problems the old one has is just they've given him the generic clone trooper face. I've seen this face so much, especially on bootlegs and stuff. I am so bored and sick of this face. Whereas the new one, they've tanned his skin a bit more, so it looks like the actor. Not the new actor. And it's quite scarred, it's very detailed, it looks nice, and it also has a bit of printing on the back for the head, whereas the old one doesn't, because it's just a generic clone head, clone trooper or stormtrooper head. And the back prints, they are so similar, slightly different. Now the old one, the lines seem to be a bit sharper, but the new one just has a bit more detail, so the new one is better in every way. The old one has one more desert skiff figure, which I'm going to keep. Even if I sell the old set, I'm going to keep this, because he does not come with the new set. So this is a unique figure, and it also has back head print and back body print. So this is a pretty nice figure, at least until I have something newer to compare him to. This character has appeared in older sets, but he's been in these sets twice with slightly different design. If you look at the chart again, decent. Back to the new set, we have a Lando in disguise figure again. He's appeared in some previous sets, but he sort of took a break and now he's back again. The helmet is done quite nicely and painted pretty well. Lando has a ha-ha and a face, and the over torso coloring is pretty realistic. So he's a good figure. And we also have a Luke Skywalker figure with a grey torso to, really separate his suit. But is that a bit too grey? I kind of prefer it if it was more black or darker color plastic that they printed on. The separation is a bit too much, because he wasn't wearing a light grey or dark grey. It was a really dark suit that he was wearing. Face and face. The lightsaber green, I feel like that's changed again. It's very neon and it looks really, really nice, and light reflects from it very nicely, much more than older lightsabers. And finally we have with the 25 years of LEGO Star Wars plate here. 3D head, pretty nice. Colors are pretty simple. Design's pretty simple. I think he's just a duplicate of one of the older figures. I'm glad he doesn't have a 25 thing on the back and he's an actual complete figure. So this set is definitely a little bit expensive. Considering you only get 2 big pieces in here, but you do get a lot of minifigures plus a bonus one. And once again, just like the other side I just reviewed, this is for older fans, because you have a far more detailed build for the Sarlacc pit and a far more detailed build such as the control panel for the Skiff there. So that's where all the pricing goes to, because you got a lot more smaller pieces to build together. The old set's still kind of nice. Looking at some of the pictures, I do believe that these two are the nicest versions of the Desert Skiffs. The really old ones, they're far too small, they're far too blocky, and the older Sarlacc was also just made out of bricks and didn't look that good. So these two are the nicest ones. So if you already have this one and you have some of these minifigures, and you feel like it's a bit too expensive, then maybe there's no need to upgrade. But if you don't have any of these Desert Skiffs, or you have some of the really old ones, then this is definitely a very nice upgrade. This is like the old one's going to this one's like Xbox going to Xbox 360, whereas this one feels like Xbox 360 going over to Xbox Series X. So it's like the jump isn't too big, but there is definitely improvement there. Just guys, just comment below, because take care, have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye now.